Welcome, everyone, to the Answer to the Universe episode 42 of Sis and Big Pops Culture. As always, I am Todd Turner, a.k.a. Big Pops.
And I am Hannah Jo, a.k.a. Sis. And together we are an adult daughter and father duo. We dive into all things geek, nerd, and fandom. Every episode is family friendly. Boop, 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 boop. Scoopity-pop,
Family friendly.
Scoopity-pop.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. We should have watched that.
I mean, we still can.
We talked about it on episode 42.
But it's Halloween. We do Halloweeny things on Halloween.
We're doing Halloweeny things. You're right. So, Hannah, tell us what's going on. What's the Didio?
The Didio, LOL. Friends, welcome. What we're going to do is the same that we always do. We're going to chat about nerd news, things that we think is interesting that's happening out in the
nerddom society.
The nerddom verse. I was going to say verse, but I didn't know like Spider-Verse, but that wasn't it.
Multiverse, Omniverse, Metaverse. That's what Facebook's going to. Anyway.
And then we're going to talk about what we're binging. We're going to talk about Pop's pull list. If you don't know what that is, don't worry. We'll let you know all about it. We're going to review the comic Batman The Long Halloween. And we are going to talk about two movies today. We're going to talk about Evil Dead 2. And we're going to talk about the new Dune film.
Dune. Yes, which you can barely see. I have my Dune book in the background.
I know, I saw it sitting there.
Hannah.
Yes, sir.
Nerd news. What do you got for me today? All these typewriters. People don't even have typewriters anymore.
Okay, so this movie called Red Notice is coming to Netflix in November.
Okay, so I've seen they've been throwing stuff out there, but I did not look at anything about it.
Okay, it's The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds.
Right. That's why. And I thought I should probably check this out. What is
Gal
it look
Gadot
like?
is the bad guy.
Oh, okay.
Which I'm here for. I don't think I've ever watched anything where she's
so is it like a
character.
buddy cop? I bet you she's going to end up being a good guy, but she's a bad guy, good guy type deal.
I don't think so. It's about art thieves.
Oh,
and
okay.
The Rock is a detective, and Ryan Reynolds is a famous art thief, and Gal Gadot is like the king art thief. And
okay, this sort of sounds like Ocean's 12 or Ocean's 13.
And she gets them both arrested while she goes to steal Cleopatra's eggs.
Oh, I gotcha. That's hilarious. So, yeah.
So will I watch this on Netflix? Absolutely. We'll be watching this on Netflix.
I watched a trailer for something that's got Cowboy Bebop trailer.
I saw that had come out. I didn't watch it. I figured you were going to talk about it, so I didn't look at it.
I just watched it today. I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I started it twice. I was so busy. But yeah, I'm psyched for that.
We've talked about that multiple times.
Speaking of Gal Gadot, did you know that Margot Robbie has a Barbie movie coming out?
Oh, I'll watch that.
Ryan Gosling is Ken.
Oh, yes.
This is directed by the same lady who directed Little Women.
Oh, I like her. She also did Lady Bird.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Really? Greta something. I don't know.
Greta Sternberg.
Gernberg. Anyway, yeah. So I was like,
I need you to know, Little Women bopped. Little Women bopped. That movie is so good. That movie was not for you. That movie was for me.
I know. That's absolutely true. Do you know what movie is for me?
What?
A Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I always love the movies. That was a good segue, wasn't it?
Oh, well, that was good.
Let's see. Can we watch Little Women or Diary of a Wimpy Kid?
You were hysterical.
So they're putting out a third Diary of the Wimpy Kid movie, but it's not going to be live action. They're going to animation.
Cool.
Same style as the book. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Do you know the animated movie that I really liked that I didn't think I would like that was like one of those kids' books like that? Captain Underpants. That movie was hilarious.
You loved that movie. You talked about that movie for a long time.
I mean, it was good.
You were a fan of it.
Yeah, Captain Underpants.
Okay,
anyway,
so
what you got?
I'm loving this like era of Nick Cage in like B movies.
Okay, so what's he in now?
He's gonna be in a movie that's coming. It's only gonna be on Shudder, which apparently is like
what
a
is
horror.
Shudder?
Apparently is a horror streaming service.
Like
and
Shudder, not Shutter. Like
no, SHUDDER.
Gotcha.
Like you're shuddering.
Gotcha.
And it's Prisoners of the Ghostland.
Huh.
And he has 5 days to save the daughter of this evil guy in this
Is he going to speak in this
word. One? He did. He spoke one word. So
okay, so he is
He already
speaking?
spoke one word. He
Not
spoke
like
one
the
word
Five
in the
Nights
trailer.
and Freddy's knockoff. What was that called?
I need you to know.
Willy's Wonderland.
Willy's Wonderland. He has the same facial hair.
I loved it. I loved Willy's Wonderland. I mean, it was dumb.
It looks trippy and absolutely bonkers.
I love Nicolas Cage.
This movie
and
looks
if he ever says,
bonkers.
Todd, I think I'm thinking about stealing the 10 Commandments. I'm with him. I'll help him.
Okay, Nick Cage, when do you need us to be
when
there?
When do we leave? Bam.
What's my job?
What's
Give
my
me a job. But no, I watched the trailer and I was like, I'm not going to watch this because I'm not going to buy Shudder or like do a 30-day trial or whatever.
But you'll watch it illegally. I mean, not that anything. No, you'll watch it when it comes somewhere.
I mean, yeah, it'll come to like Redbox or something like that at some point.
Family Video.
Family Video went bankrupt during coronavirus. There is no more Family Video anywhere.
Oh, man,
I need you to know it makes my heart so sad. I went to Family Video every week.
Oh, that's a bummer. Did you know I watched a documentary about the very last Blockbuster?
No.
Did we talk about that?
No.
It was really cool. There is one Blockbuster video place still around.
Why?
I don't know.
There's
just only one.
A living.
I don't know.
So my words today.
Did you see that they cast Adam Warlock for the Guardians of the Galaxy? So do you remember at the end of
I know who Adam Warlock is.
The guy that played Eustace.
No way.
He's also like in Maze Runner or something like that. Will Poulter?
Yeah, he's in Maze Runner.
Midsummer.
He's a creepy dude and he's the bad guy in Maze Runner.
Yeah, but he's got an interesting look. I don't know how else to say it.
Eustace.
Yeah, he was Eustace.
He was Eustace in the Voyage of the Dawn Treader.
He looks like he would be. I mean, paint him gold, and it would. Yeah, I'm
here for it. Mark says that he also saw that documentary, and the Blockbuster is out west somewhere.
I thought it was like in Oregon or Washington or something like that. It was really cool. It seemed. I enjoyed it. I felt for the people who were running it because they wanted to keep it going. I
have one more thing.
Go ahead.
Marvel has pushed all of their movies back again.
Yes, I saw that.
And 2 of the unnamed movies have just been cut.
Goodbye.
Like they aren't even.
Well, they weren't named, so what does it matter? We don't care.
But what was it?
I
saw speculation that the reason that they're cut was that Black Widow and Shang-Chi didn't do as good, didn't go over 500 million in box office.
Well, it's in the middle of the flipping coronavirus.
We are literally in the middle of a pepperoni pizza.
Pepperoni pizza?
Yeah, that's the thing now. That's what the youths are doing. They're saying
what?
They're saying
I love
P-words.
Pepperoni pizza.
They're saying P words like we're in the middle of a pandemonium or a panorama or a pepperoni pizza.
I love pepperoni pizza.
Instead of saying pandemic, it's a joke.
Oh, well, I don't get it. But I would like to be in the middle of a pepperoni pizza. That would be a calzone.
Calzone.
We're in a calzone.
Calzone. We're in
the Corvid calzone.
The Corvid calzone. Oh, no.
So Matrix is going to be rated R, and it's going to be on HBO Max December 22nd.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Rated R. First, I don't think any of them have been rated R
Okay,
before.
so we went and watched Dune. Well, would they have been rated R if they had come out more recently? Because they came out in the 90s.
It's still the same deal.
You
Are
think?
you kidding me? If anything, I think it's gotten more lax the way we've gone. Yeah.
So
What?
Trevin has only seen the first Matrix and doesn't even
good.
remember the first.
Oh,
doesn't
the first
even remember
Matrix
it.
is great. Well, they're all on HBO. I went back
That's
and watched
what. No,
the first
that's because he was like, we need to watch all of those. I bet they're on HBO. HBO has everything good. I'm like, you're not wrong. HBO has everything.
I just got a couple more things.
Okay.
Hayden Christensen is going to be in the Obi-Wan TV show and the Ahsoka TV show. So we're going to get Anakin and Vader.
We're gonna get Anakin and woo! Yes! Pew, 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 pew. I'm just saying, he was weird in those movies.
I know. Also saw a trailer for I Love Lucy movie. It's like on Amazon Prime called Being the Ricardos. Stars Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem.
Oh, I like Javier Bardem.
I mean, was
And
he
Nicole
the one in
Kidman.
Dune?
Yeah, he was in Dune.
Gosh, yeah. We should. I can't wait
We're
to
just
get there.
want to talk about that next.
Yeah, probably so. We could call that binging. That's about all. I do have one more little thing, but
Okay,
it's sort
bring
of
it
like
on.
nobody really cares but
Well,
me.
Dad, I want to know.
They're talking about doing a World War Hulk movie. There's a comic book called World War Hulk where the Hulk had been sent, like the heroes sent him away because he was so dangerous, and then something happened in the world where he was, and he comes back and he just wants to destroy everything. But we're getting a She-Hulk TV show, right, with Disney Plus, and they are really working hard right now in the comic books to reintroduce She-Hulk as a sassy, so that we care, a sassy lawyer.
That was mean, but it's true.
It's true. Well, that's why they're doing Moon Knight. Same deal. They redid Moon Knight and relaunched it.
Moon
They're
Knight
trying to do that.
bops.
Yeah. Anyway, that was it. Hannah, what are you binging?
So, it is fall.
Yeah, it's fall.
And I watched some fall movies is what I did.
What'd you watch?
I watched some fall rom-coms. If you had to
Like
guess what I would consider
Sleepless in Seattle.
Nope, that's a Christmas one.
No, it's not.
It is. In my opinion, it is a Christmas one.
Sleepless in Seattle?
Sleepless
Actually,
in Seattle.
they get together on Valentine's Day.
I know, but it's Christmas.
The cover is fall in Central Park.
It's Christmas.
Anyway, go ahead. Well, so no. You're thinking
While You Were Sleeping is also Christmas. Sleepless in Seattle and While You Were Sleeping are both Christmas.
no. What's the one with the shop around the block? That You've Got Mail is Christmas.
You've Got Mail is fall.
Is that what you watched?
Yes.
You've Got Mail. It's
I watched You Got Mail. I watched When Harry Met Sally. And
That's what I meant. I meant When Harry Met Sally.
That's what I thought you meant. You were talking about Sleepless in Seattle, and I was like, it is not. The cover of that is not. It is fall. The cover of that is them two standing in Central Park with autumn leaves.
You were right. That's what I was thinking.
That's When Harry Met Sally, Dad.
When Harry Met Sally, yes.
Yeah. So I did watch Shop Around the Corner. That's not what it's called.
That's his mom in that episode
I didn't.
where she's no longer living. In the thing where she goes, I'll have what she's having.
That's hysterical.
At the restaurant. That was Billy Crystal's mother.
That's
in real life.
Hysterical. Yeah, so I watched When Harry Met Sally. I watched You've Got Mail, and I've watched About Time.
Oh, did you like that?
About Time is one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time.
That's when he's in and out of time, right?
He is. So what it is he is a time traveler. It's by the same director who did
Love
Actually.
The Lake House. Oh,
Love Actually. So it's British. It's like a British comedy.
Gotcha.
And he is able to go back in time, but he's only able to go back in time within his own timeline.
Right.
And they're
so
like
he sees her when she's a
rules.
little girl or whatever. Yeah, it was weird.
No,
was
that's the
okay.
time traveler's wife.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
This is a different. Rachel McAdams is also in this one.
Gosh, great.
But
holy cow.
Different movie.
All right, gosh.
So I watched those 3, and I watched Dune.
Mm-hmm.
And I also watched Evil Dead because that's what we were talking about
That's
today.
what we're walking. I watched the last episode of Foundation.
Yeah.
That came out, and it's still the same. It's a great science fiction book. It's a great science fiction TV show that
Not follows the book.
at all. So
Fair.
Yeah, there you go. And since we watched, I started working on a new mosaic.
I saw
on the surfboard. So
I saw that
Silver
on
Surfer.
Sunday.
And so in the background, HBO Max has Batman: The Long Halloween as a movie.
They do not.
So I put it on in the background.
That's so fun.
Yeah, it's pretty it follows the comic book pretty closely. I was impressed. So yeah, that's it for me. I haven't been watching a lot. The Foundation is, I don't know, it's sort of mature, but it's not really. It's not like cuss words type stuff or whatever. But yeah, Batman: The Long Halloween, they did say some cussing. I don't know. It might be R. I'm not 100% sure. The comic book wasn't, but yeah.
They had some violence.
So let's talk Dune, Hannah.
Okay. That's another thing we both watched independently of each other.
Spoilers.
These are Dune spoilers. If you don't want them, then you should not continue.
Well, you should. You should just fast forward. Right?
Yeah.
So, okay.
I loved it.
All right. First of all, we're going to talk as if you guys know what Dune is. Because I don't have time to explain what Dune is to anybody. Except for the fact that it's in the top 5 science fiction novels of all time. And there's a series of them. The first book, I'll just give you a hint, it's 20 CDs in my car. That's how long it is.
It's literally behind you. For the people,
that's the book.
I know.
That's the book. For the people
watching the vid, it's this thick.
It's this thick if you're on live.
Put your finger, your pointer finger and your thumb and it's at least 2.5, 3 inches. It's a chunk.
It is 800 and something pages. Mine is.
It's a chunk.
Mine is 870 something pages. There's a lot in it. Okay. And there have been a couple adaptions.
The director of this film only would only agree to do the film if he could do it in 2 parts.
I knew it would have to be 2 parts. And I guessed the ending.
Did you?
Is it
about the middle of the book? Or not at all the middle of the book?
But it's like right before everything happens. So,
of course.
What did you think about the movie?
So it is visually stunning.
It's gorgeous.
It's visually stunning.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. I didn't know this, but it was
the
made to be watched
the
in
pageantry.
IMAX.
And a friend of mine watched it in IMAX.
Was it good in IMAX?
He loved it.
I'm trying to decide if I want to go back and watch it in IMAX.
My friend Adam, he's the one that I let borrow my, I let him borrow my CDs. And he saw it in IMAX. Wasn't sure the big difference it would make, but it was just beautiful. That's what he said.
Gotcha. So it was the way that I explained it to Dad and how it felt watching it to me, felt like if I had been able to watch in theaters Lord of the Rings for the first time. That's what it felt like to me. It felt like watching.
That's the way they're billing it.
Like,
it said the next Lord of the Rings, the next Star Wars is here.
It's not in any way Star Wars, but it did feel like space Lord of the Rings.
I felt like they left out a lot of information for newbies to really get into it.
Yeah. So Dad thinks that it was because we chatted. I called you afterwards after I watched it, just because I was like, I have to tell Dad. And you think that there's a lot of like background that we need that we don't know.
Right. Yeah. Also, I didn't like. I'm nitpicking on it. I mean, they do leave a few things out, and some things are different than in the book, but it has to be. I mean, they put a lot of emphasis on the bull head, the matador thing. Why?
I think that's just to show like strength.
Do you know the whole thing with the bull?
The granddad fought bulls.
Yeah, it killed him. That's the bull that killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but yeah, I just thought that they showed it a lot. And
I think it was supposed to be like a metaphor for like strength, but also fragility of man.
I could see that. They gave it much more centering
Prominence.
Than they ever did in the book. I mean, no, it's in there. They talk about it, but
I think it was supposed to show the stark difference between the 2 houses.
Well,
like House Atreides versus, I don't know the other guys.
The Harkonnens.
Yeah. I need you to know. I thought he was a slug person.
Oh, really?
I thought that guy was a slug person. I need you to know. The Skarsgård.
$500. He's like 500 pounds, $500. He's like 500 pounds.
He has genetically modified thing to make him float.
To float. Yeah.
And so he stood up and his like skirt was really long and he like stood all the way up and I'm like, he's a genetically modified slug person.
Nope. He's just
I literally
so
leaned over and
big
was like, is he a slug?
that his legs can't hold up his weight.
Man.
Mm-hmm. And we don't get a lot.
Poison?
We don't get a lot.
What?
Two of my favorite characters we barely got anything of.
Who?
Thufir and Piter, the
I don't know
two
who-
Mentats. Exactly.
I don't know who
They're
they
like
are.
they have such a huge part in the book. And
Is that the guy whose like eyeballs blink the wrong ways?
They go backwards. Yes, the Mentats are human computers because
Yeah, because he's like, yes, they're here now.
and Piter,
Because I literally I poked Trev and I was like, his eyeballs, they blinked backwards.
the guy who was a polka dot guy.
Yeah,
in
the polka dot
Suicide
guy.
Squad. He was a
cool.
Mentat as well.
His eyeballs, one of them blinked up and one of them blinked down.
Yeah.
He had no eyebrows.
They are trained because something happened in the past where you can't create a computer in a man's image. So they train men to basically think as computers. And that's they're called Mentats. The thing, and you don't really get all of this.
Well,
but
I don't think Paul. Yes, the little boy.
Right. Paul, unknowingly, in order to train someone to be a Mentat, they can't know they're being trained until they become of an age. And then you say, you're being trained. Do you want to continue your training? And then you either accept it or you don't. Paul, unknowingly, was being trained to be a Mentat. Yes.
But he's also a Bene Gesserit person.
And exactly.
So he's being trained in these two different.
Not
he's
even
being
that.
trained to be like a
He's
witch
not even that.
and a computer.
And he's being taught,
the Duke.
and the
This
Duke.
guy,
and
this poor kid.
Huey is sort of training him in the religion. I mean, and he's being taught fighting and tactical. So he's been learning this and he's just 15. So a lot of that.
Because they make Timothée Chalamet, which is
he
the
looks
actor.
good in it.
He looks like a child in some of the things.
He's supposed to be a child. In the book, he's 15. At the end of the first book, he's 18. So from the period where this movie stops, which is where he has the fight with Jameis, he
ages
from
3
there,
years.
He ages 3 years, and yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair.
So, yeah. So, and there's all that stuff about Cheney, but it's played by Zendaya. And she's in the movie for what?
7 minutes. I knew she wasn't going to be in it that long. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I knew that.
I mean, I really enjoyed Duncan, the guy who plays him. What's his name?
Jason Momoa.
Yeah, he was great.
Phenomenal. They do
all
this.
the characters.
They do this. They do sword by heart, sword by head,
and then,
before they fight.
Yeah, that was his salute. That was his salute to his Duke.
Well, no, but he did that before.
And what about that? He didn't even hesitate. He went straight once he knew the Duke was dead, kneeled at Paul and knew you're the Duke.
And it was like, Duke. Man,
I mean,
broke my heart.
Without hesitation.
Ooh, broke my heart.
So, and the Sardaukar, the bad fighters from the Seleucus Secundus.
What the hecky were they doing with like rivers and the water planet? Like it was raining and there were like rivers of like.
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. I'm not going to say it because this is a family-friendly podcast. But my goodness gracious.
So I didn't like that we didn't get enough of the Mentats. We don't see much of the House Harkonnen to really get to know,
Well, I know that I don't like them.
Exactly. And
so do we need more than that?
Yeah, you do, because there's one that's never even been mentioned. Has a major part of the entire book. Fade Rautha, Raban's brother. So, but
I thought it was really cool. I'm sorry, you go first.
My friend Adam had the same thing about Lady Jessica that I said.
I didn't think because you think that she was very weak. You don't think that they made her strong.
He said the same thing. He said that here's his word for word. Probably the only thing I didn't like was that they made Jessica seemed weak and she was always crying. And I was scared that was not the Jessica that I knew from the novels. Because she didn't do that.
I didn't, in no way did I think that she was weak. I thought that she's not right. Something's not okay with her, is what I think. Like, I don't think that she, like the vision that Paul got where she's holding a baby and it's got the face tattoos. I'm like, she ain't right. She's not okay.
Jessica, in the book, she was straight on Bene Gesserit, but she loved the Duke so much that she said, forget that. I'm giving him a son because he wants a son. Mm-hmm. Even though I was only supposed to have a daughter.
I didn't know they weren't married.
Nope. She's the bound concubine.
Man.
That way, they made a reason for the reason she wasn't married was because some of the other houses could still look, could marry the Duke to have a combined house. You know how they used to do that kind of crazy stuff back in the ancient days.
So what it makes me think of, and Dad was like, you don't understand like the houses and how this all works. But man, if you understand like the feudal system.
That's what it is. It's pure feudal system
if
plus
you understand
religion.
Fiefdom, then you understand.
Yes.
You can understand this. Like we have an emperor who's the king. We have lords and ladies of these different houses. And then they have knights who live and work and serve for them. And then they're given fiefdoms to.
But the issue is Planet Dune has the only
spice
thing that controls
interstellar
space travel.
Yeah.
Without it, there'd be no travel.
It's like between stars to like map out the courses.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how that works, but
that's what they said.
I love the ship. They don't even touch about. They really don't explain it much.
Yeah, they don't say anything about the ships.
But there you go. The guild, the spacing guild.
It was beautiful.
So it was gorgeous. The spaceships were fantastic.
The spaceships reminded me of Arrival. Like it felt sleek. It felt.
I could see that.
Like it just felt very, like, I don't know. Like when you think about like space, oftentimes people think of like Star Wars, but these were like very sleek ships.
Mm-hmm. Another thing that I liked about the book that was sort of lacking in the movie was Gurney, played by Josh Brolin. Not only was he a major fighting man, but he was a musician and an artist.
Aw, that's cool.
He keeps it's sort of like his version of a guitar. It's called a balisette. And everywhere he went. As a matter of fact, Paul vaguely mentions it. Instead of a fight, how about a song or something like that? And actually, when they get off the steps, off the ship, when they land, Gurney sort of says a lyric. Aww. If you noticed. But,
I didn't.
There's that whole thing. So Paul learns these songs from Gurney as well. So yeah, I hope they make another one. If
they're
they don't,
going to.
Oh, really? I hope so.
You don't think they're going to make a part 2? The amount of money they made this weekend?
Oh, BT Dubs, The Worm was awesome.
The Worm was sick.
It was awesome. And Stilgar is great. Great. I can't wait to see how they all work.
The weird, creepy lady voice that Paul hears.
Oh, yeah. The witch.
I'm like, oh, no. Batman.
Yeah. All right. So how many Shai Haluds do you give this?
Oh, this was a 5 out of 5 for me, for sure.
5 makers.
Thumpers.
The maker.
Thumpers.
When she hands her the knife, which was an allusion to the book, which I liked. If you notice, she was going to say something, but she didn't get to finish it. If you go back and rewatch that, she goes, she was going to say something after the maker.
What is it?
I can't remember what it in the book. In her head, she says what it was going to be. When she says the word the maker, that's when the shout out Mapes, the housekeeper starts, because that's what they call the worms, the makers, Shai Halud. Yep. 5 sand dunes.
Oh, also really cool to me that they did sign language.
Yes, that.
They had a sign language, and I just wanted to mention that I thought that was really cool. That's
in the book. They have their own way of speaking with looks and nods and stuff. And I think that was a nod to that.
I thought the sign language was really cool.
Yeah,
okay,
it is cool.
Pull list.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
Dad's going to do his pull list for us. And for those of you who are unaware of what a pull list is, a pull list is a list of comics that you give to the proprietor of your local comic book shop. And what they do is they pull it from their inventory before placing on the shelves what they have purchased to sell for that week. That way you can always have the comics that you were collecting. And so they make you a little stacky.
Stacky stack.
Stacky stack.
And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight 2 from Marvel Comics, 2 from DC Comics, 2 from independent publishers, and a book of the week.
Book of the week. We got a book of the
Are
week.
you ready for this? 3 of my books are not from my pulls. I bought them when I was there.
Hey, we love that.
So,
Okay.
I know, I love
Bring it
that.
on.
So my first Marvel book is Fantastic Four issue 37. I love Fantastic Four. I can't help it. This is a very fun. It's a Halloween book.
Yay.
And so they're the Fantastic Four are dressed up on the cover. Like the Invisible Woman is invisible, except you can see her skeleton.
LOL.
The thing just has a mask on. Johnny Storm just has like the fire pumpkin head. Anyway, what happens is earlier I might have mentioned this, that Ben Grimm, the Thing, and his wife Alicia have adopted 2 children who had used to be had to battle one another because one was Kree and one was Skrull. Well, of course, Skrulls can change the way they look.
Yes.
So
we know that because of Captain America, if you don't know anything about comic books. No, wrong.
Well,
Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. Yeah, not Captain America. But anyway, so this is their first trick or treat. And they have decided that if they plan this correctly, they can hit every place on Yancey Street 12 times before trick or treat is over. Plus, the girl's a Skrull, so she just changes the way she looks every time.
Hilarious.
So they go house to house changing outfits, and they con everybody. Like they con Sue to take them trick or treating. They get Mr. Fantastic. They get so Alicia, their mother, and they end up getting like mounds of candy. And Ben Grimm's like, "You're taking it all back," and they're like, "What? Don't you think we talk? I mean, we talk to one another." So that's the fun part. The bad part is the lady who owned them in space comes back and wants them.
No,
and the boy who's Kree,
precious nugs.
the boy who's Kree is like, "I'm not going back," and like he is a fighter and he starts killing these people, and then Ben's like, "We don't do that," and Alicia is so worried about her children that she uses this. She is the daughter of the puppet master who would create things, like create sculptures and be able to make people do what they want them to do out of the sculptures she makes. And she's a sculptress. That's what she does. So she was getting ready to use that to make her son not do that. So, I know. I don't know how this is going to play out, but it's really good. Another book that's now on my pull list because my new people getting my comic books for me, when I said Suicide Squad, I guess they thought I meant everything Suicide Squad. So this is Suicide Squad King Shark, issue 2 of 6. So it's a 6. And this is by DC. King Shark has entered a battle royale to fight like someone. They're like a representative from each. There's man, there's sea, there's worms, and Amanda Waller sends a character called the Defacer with him. Man. That's what her superpower is. She just like spray paint stuff. She doesn't even have a superpower. She's like in jail for, I don't know.
Just defacing property.
And this has been so silly and fun that it's just a welcome relief.
King Shark was the Free Comic Book Day comic.
Oh yeah. So that's really good. I enjoy it. It's fun and silly. You know, if you don't want anything where you have to really think hard about, it's good.
It's for you. We love that.
I got Army of Darkness 1979 issue 2.
That is
because that is by Dynamite. This is an independent. This is follows
Dynamite,
issue 1.
Army of Darkness.
Dynamite, Army of Darkness, issue 2. Army of Darkness, 1979. It follows the lead guy from our Evil Dead 2 that we're talking about later.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, Ash. And it literally is Evil Dead 2 and the movie the warlords
Silly.
combined. And yeah, there's the war, not the warlords, are called the warlocks. They got the Necronomicon, and they're defeating the gangs in the 70s using the Necronomicon. So
Man.
My next Marvel book is The Death of Doctor Strange, issue 2. And this is another miniseries, just going to last 5 or 6 issues. Doctor Strange was killed. And at the end of the first issue, Doctor Strange reappears. You come to find out what happened was ages ago, Doctor Strange took 1 week of his life and hid it away in case he was killed. That 1 week would come back and help them solve who killed him and make sure the new Sorcerer Supreme is protecting the Earth. So this is Doctor Strange from like...
Take a week of your life and save it.
That's what he did. So this is like Doctor Strange from like 1968.
That's hysterical. So is it drawn in that same style?
Yes.
Oh,
he's
that's
drawn like that.
excellent.
His character's drawn like that. He says zounds. And like
Zounds.
they're like, this is your wife. And he goes, my wife, I'm not married. You know, so he doesn't know these people. He doesn't know what's happened.
Man, that's cool. Zounds.
And that is so good.
Groovy.
At the end, he says that zounds. Huh? I don't know what movie.
Groovy.
We'll get there. So yeah, Death of Doctor Strange. There's all these incursions into Earth because there's no Sorcerer Supreme. You think that these people are coming into Earth to take over Earth, but really they're coming into Earth to escape something else. So
that's
who's going to be
maybe
the new?
Worse.
And you know why they're doing this? To make us like Doctor Strange so that we can watch the Spider-Man movie and enjoy it because Doctor Strange is in the Spider-Man movie with the multiverse.
Did you see the new picture that was released with Doc Ock picking up a car and throwing it at
Andrew
Tom
Garfield?
Holland?
Tom Holland? You
Tom
think
Holland.
it's Tom Holland?
We don't know who it is. It could have been. It could be any of them. It's Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire takes his hat off.
Yeah.
I'm
Nice.
Spider-Man now. Punch me, I bleed.
Punch me, I bleed. Look at my black. I'm dancing. That's
Man,
funny.
that's cursed.
Okay.
That video is cursed.
We'll talk about that. The first 3 Spider-Man movies were directed by the same director who did Evil Dead 2.
Oh, cool.
Sam Raimi, who is doing Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. He's directing that as well.
Yay.
So my second independent is by AWA. It's called Fight Girls, issue 4 of 5. This is like a Hunger Games, but this is to be Queen of the Empire. 10 women, 4 challenges, 1 crown. Winner rules the empire.
Okay, so it's issue 4 you got?
Of 5, issue 4 of 5. Yeah, it's not on my pull list, but I keep getting it when it comes out.
You're so funny.
I know. And,
Fight Girls.
So this is there's someone who is in charge, sort of like in charge of like the military or whatever, and he wants his person to be the queen, and this other person is like hidden background who is beating everybody, but plot twist, she loses to somebody else in the end of this issue. So we've got one more issue to finish up this storyline.
Who will be the queen?
Who will rule the empire, and what's the deal with this? So I got a new comic from DC.
Okay, what is
It's
it?
DC Black Label. It's like 1 of 3. I think there's just maybe 3 issues. It's called Catwoman Lonely City. This book is cool because it is drawn, written, inked, colored. Same guy, Cliff Chang. And it's oversized. Issue 1. This Catwoman has gray hair. She has been in prison for 10 years. She
old.
This was something happened on April Fool's Day where Batman is killed. He mentions something to Catwoman, save the Orpheus or something. And actually on that day, Two-Face, something happened to him and he came to grips with himself and rescued a bunch of people during that day. So
Two-Face came to grips with himself?
Harvey Dent, Two-Face, is mayor. And this
I don't like that.
So I'm reading comic books right now. We've had this discussion before about this stupid DC Future State, where
Which
there's the
you
magistrate.
love.
I don't love.
Yeah,
There are
I
bits
know.
and parts.
I was being facetious.
So
You're welcome.
in that, there's like a militarized. Somebody's trying to militarize the police, and like the police have this armor, and they're trying to get rid of Batman. They're trying to get rid of the masks, and I'm also reading this book called Batman Catwoman, which takes place after the death of Batman, where Catwoman is trying to, I don't know, she's cleaning house and killing all these people. This seems to fit somewhere in between there, but do a little bit better job, I think, of those. So
Interesting.
her back hurts. It's harder for her to do things. She is 10 years older. She got released from jail. You come to find out that Harvey is the one who pulled her release. She doesn't know that.
Did he pardon her? Are mayors allowed to do that?
Well, she was up for parole and she got out. The police, there are no masks. There are no masks. It's against the law. The police look like the police from Future State, but they have like Batman tech. So as you read on, something is going on. They're using the Batmobile and something else to like do all their stuff in Gotham. And they also make them wear these G-bands, which is basically the way they track people and stuff like that.
Nope.
So
pass. I'm gonna pass on this, all of it.
all right.
Actually.
Anyway, I'll keep getting it.
Hard
My
pass.
book of the week.
Book of the week. It's the book of the week. I wonder what it is.
I was so excited when I read this. It wasn't one of the first ones I went to, but I was like, this is great. And now a friend of mine said once he read this book, he was like, I read it and now I just want a Disney Plus series.
What is it?
So this is Thor, issue
Okay.
18. We've been talking that Thor's had an issue with Mjolnir.
Yes.
It's not working right. Well, now Mjolnir has been stolen
Oh no.
from Avengers Island or mountain or whatever. So
Island or
Thor
mountain or
goes,
whatever,
whatever
LOL.
it is. Thor goes to the only person that he trusts and that he thinks has enough connection to find Mjolnir.
Okay.
So, and Thor's been so depressing lately. The comic book, this was a breath of fresh air. He goes to Throg. So I don't know if we talked about this
Throg!
before, where Thor was a frog for a while.
Frog Thor. Frog Thor.
So
Frog
now
Thor. Frog
he
Thor.
goes to Frog Thor. He asks Loki, and Loki's like, I ain't doing this. I'm not, no.
Leave me out of this,
I got
my
my
guy.
own stuff to do. So he goes to Throg, and he's like,
Almighty Throg.
I need your help. I need you to help me find Mjolnir. And like he has to go to his little frog land where all the little bog animals are there. And it's so funny because Throg has a hammer made out of a little chip of Mjolnir. That's what his hammer is. So and he's like, will you help me find this? And he goes, I'm already on it. He's like, what? He goes, he goes, first he goes, I'm going to have to get a team together to help me. And he goes, okay, will you be able to do that? He goes, I started this 4 days ago. I've been working on this. And he's like, what? He's like, what? He said,
I
he goes, first, I'm going to
Yum
need,
told me.
I'm going to need a bloodhound. Somebody to help me with that. So he gets Lockjaw, which is the giant dog from the Inhumans.
Oh yeah, I know Lockjaw.
He goes,
Giant
I'm
black
also
dog.
going to need, I'm also going to need like these eyes to help me carry messages and stuff. So he gets Thor's 2 black crows. They have names in them too. So he's got the 2 crows, Thor's 2 crows. He's got Lockjaw. And then he's like, he needs somebody else. So he gets Lockheed the dragon, which is Kitty
Oh
Pryde
yeah, Kitty Pryde's
from
dragon.
the X-Men
Oh
dragon.
yeah, he gets
And,
a dragon.
And he goes, and why not? A dragon's always good on an adventure, right?
On a quest.
And then he goes, I need someone to help me in the mystical realms. And so he goes to Doctor Strange he goes, Doctor Strange, I need somebody to help me. I have a quest and I need someone to help me on my mystical realms. And he goes, I'm sorry, I'm really busy with stuff going on right now. And he goes, I wasn't talking to you. So there is a dog that's a ghost called Bats the Ghost Dog that lives at Doctor Strange Mansion. And he gets Bats the Ghost Dog. So there is.
All of them are animals.
All of them are animals. And he goes,
Quest.
yes.
Quest.
So
We're
hold on.
Tramping
He says,
through the bush.
And one more thing, he goes, I assembled them 4 days ago. Okay. And he goes, and one more thing, though we may be spies, when we are joined, you will know us as the Avengers. So it's like Pet Avengers. I mean, this is the best.
Animal Avengers.
I can't
They're all
wait. I mean,
animals.
this is a book I would read over and over and over again. I would definitely read
I will collect this
make it happen.
Throg book.
I would watch the show.
This Throg
Who
book.
would not watch that show? On
Everyone
Disney
would
Plus?
watch it.
Yeah,
Everyone
anyway.
would.
Yeah, my friend said, "Oh, dude, I'd read that," and I'm like, "I need the Disney Plus show
Hysterical.
now." All right. Well, we don't have a whole lot of time.
We
left.
don't.
I guess we do a little bit.
Yeah.
We have 45 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So 45 minutes. We've been 40. What do you want to do?
Evil Dead and then
This is
end on a
Halloween.
comic?
This is Halloween.
This
Yeah.
This is Halloween.
Yes. So
Okay,
those of you who want a Halloween movie to watch,
It's not this one.
It is great. It's Evil Dead 2.
my favorite is I forced Hannah.
I did.
You
Well,
did.
hey, did you watch the whole thing?
Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't watch that whole Night Books thing. I wasn't doing
Okay,
it.
you nugget.
I'm sorry.
If you tell me, if we decide we're watching something, I'm in it to the bitter end.
Okay, but this was fun.
The bitter end of "Ah!" with his
We watched
chainsaw
Army
hand.
Evil Dead 2.
Goodness gracious.
And it's from ages ago. It's rated
Man.
R. Just give it to me, Hannah. What'd you think? I'll tell you why I
I need
love
you
it.
to know-
And you tell me what you think about it.
I need you to know that my favorite part of watching that movie was you just randomly texting me things from the movie, like
The
20
quotes?
minutes ahead of me.
Like what?
Like I'm pulling them up. I really wish we could watch this together. It's so crazy bonkers.
Yes, I did. I know,
Worksheet.
I was
Workshed. No,
Worksheet.
workshed. Is it
Workshed,
autocorrected to worksheet? Workshed.
Yeah.
Give
Yeah,
me
it
back
kept
my
saying worksheet.
hand. Who's
Give me
laughing
back my
now?
hand. Who's laughing now?
Someone's in my fruit cellar.
Soul. Yeah. Swallow your soul. Swallow your soul. Swallow this. And he goes,
Ugh.
I'm all right now. I'm all right. When the girl's like trying to kill him.
Man, it was weird. Granted, okay, I knew nothing going into watching this film other than that Dad thought it was hysterical, and he's like, "We have to watch Evil Dead 2." And I'm like, "Evil Dead," and he's like, "No, the second one."
Right. It's
I'm like, "Okay,
all of the effects are
bad."
they're completely low budget.
They're
I mean, there's no CGI. It's stop action animation. It are practical effects.
Yeah, the faces, the guys. At one point, this guy's neck becomes like a snake.
It was a woman.
And this woman's neck becomes a snake.
It was her mom.
And it like Jack in the Box out of her head.
And he's punching it.
The amount of punches to like ghost heads. Like, why is this demon has possessed, this like evil spirit has possessed this thing. You know what's going to make it better? If I punch it. Let's just punch
only
it
had one
over and
hand.
over again. My favorite is it goes whack, whack, whack. Oh, and then when he only has one hand, but it clearly is just him like holding something because his arm
shirt
was
over it?
longer with his hand off than with his hand on. I thought that was funny.
Oh, Hannah. I was so hoping you would enjoy it.
No, I did. It was funny.
The second one, the Army of Darkness, which is the sequel, basically starts with him landing in medieval time.
The amount of yelling this grown man does.
Yeah.
The amount of yelling this grown man does is hysterical. He just yells the entire time.
And cries, sobs, and the
Yeah.
music in the background.
Groovy.
Oh yeah, groovy with a sawed-off shotgun and a
And a chainsaw
Chainsaw
for a
arm.
hand.
yeah.
Chainsaw arm.
Absolutely.
He's going to run out of gasoline. That's what I thought. He's going
You know,
medieval times.
there's
He's gonna run out of
a joke
gasoline.
about that in the second one, where it says he's in medieval times. He's only so much gasoline and low on shotgun shells. He never runs out of shells. It never runs out of gasoline.
Of course he doesn't. Or gasoline. Are you kidding me? Of course not. My favorite were like Bobby Joe.
Oh gosh,
Man.
Those guys, that was terrible.
They're dumb. And then we're putting this book in the cellar because you don't need this book.
No.
We're finding
the best
Bobby
part
Joe.
of that is the best part of that is the Necronomicon. It brings the dead back from the life, if read out loud. The first passages
here's how you do it phonetically. I'm like, no. I'm like, what a doofus. And my favorite is like you keep pressing play and he's like, I fear that I have welcomed a spirit who now resides in
inside my wife.
And I'm like, no, stop it. I mean, I was so mad about it.
Don't you like that at the end where he gets so scared that his hair turns white on the sides? Did you notice that?
I did not notice that.
Portal sucks the car down. Okay,
Man.
A little bit of a side. That car is in every movie that Sam Raimi directs.
Really? I wonder if that's the car that's being thrown by Doc Ock in the picture that I saw.
He didn't direct that movie.
I thought he did.
Not the Spider-Man movie. He's doing the. However, that is the car that Uncle Ben drove to take Peter to the. And Bruce Campbell's in every movie he directs.
Spider-Man, the original Crim
All
fighter.
right, so be honest and just let me have it. How many groovies?
Okay, how many groovies? Like 3.5?
All right, I give it 5 groovies.
Here's what I think needs to happen. That I need to sit next to you in person.
And watch this movie as I die
while
laughing.
we eat popcorn that you've made from the stovetop.
Yes. Okay, I'm for it.
Do you know what I mean? Like that's the
and
vibe.
then watch Army of Darkness.
Okay, perhaps not that.
Oh yeah, Army of Darkness too.
Perhaps just Evil Dead 2.
No, Army of Darkness is great. Oh, you born in a barn? Of course you were born in a barn. Where am I talking about? Of course you were born in a barn. All right. So Hannah and I also read Batman: The Long Halloween.
Yes, it's behind you. I see it.
I actually got that is the black and white version. Only black and white. It is available to read for free if you have Amazon Prime on the Kindle app. And
it's long. It's like 300 pages.
I didn't realize it was that long, and I'm sorry when I said let's read it.
I read it.
But I think it's probably the best Batman story I've read.
Ever?
Ever.
Ever.
It was great.
Man, it's
a great.
I really enjoy every time that we get to this portion. I'm like, I really just need to learn some art words. So, Michaela, when
Tim
you get to this
Sale.
podcast,
Give us some art
text
words.
me and teach me some art words.
I know. The artist's name is Tim Sale.
Man, it was beautiful.
And, it was gorgeous. And I like how they interwove just about everything in the Batman mythos.
Yes.
The characters and everything.
It's very good for I think it would be a good trade to pick up for if you are wanting to learn about Batman or if you, you know what I mean? Like if you're like, okay, I don't know. I mean, at this point, if you don't know about
It pretty
Batman,
much has all the main
have
villains.
A different conversation.
Correct. Yeah. There's no reason. You're not listening to this if you don't know who Batman is. That'd be ridiculous.
Dad Mark said after
I saw it.
Okay.
I've watched Boba Hotep. I don't think you would like that, Hannah. I liked it.
My name is Bruce.
Good. Oh yeah.
What's that?
And Boba Hotep is where he's really Elvis.
I've heard Hotep before. How do I know that?
It's Bruce Campbell. But anyway, let's get back to Batman. So this follows a villain named Holiday, who is killing people on holidays
from the mob.
From the mob, yes, killing them off one by one. So It starts on Halloween and it ends on Halloween. And
Halloween.
They have termed it the long Halloween because kills except on one day. It did not kill someone on one holiday. Do you remember what it was?
April Fool's Day.
April Fool's Day.
Which is hysterical.
Yeah, April Fool's. I didn't kill anybody.
You thought I was going to kill someone.
And the person, you thought I was going to kill the Riddler. And of all of that. And they didn't. I loved how this, if you go back and look at how this is drawn, anytime you see Harvey Dent, he's sort of drawn one direct where you can there's a shade or something on one side of his face. And he always talks about how he is of two minds and man.
The
what?
The art was just so good. I loved, and this was something that I think this would be a cool comic to read in black and white. I'm curious about what they did for the scenes where the holiday killer struck. Because I don't know. I've never looked at it, honestly. In the trade, those pages were in black and white.
Oh, yes, they were.
I'm curious.
They'd be the same, I would imagine, because it just said it is pure black and white is all this is. No color at all.
Because I was curious. I wondered if they were, because I thought that was a really beautiful, man. There's
one picture where they have all of all the villains in that.
Phenomenal. And they're all sitting they're all sitting. You need to do that.
I was like, could I do that? That would be huge. It would have to be gargantuan.
It'd be the size of, it'd be easily the size of the Justice League, maybe bigger.
It'd be bigger than that. It'd weigh a ton too. So, so in this comic book, Batman is trying to figure out why, who this killer is. He actually goes to a villain named the Calendar Man, which is hilarious. Because they mentioned him. He says she. He or she. She. He keeps saying he, she. It's she's really causing you trouble. She's really doing,
he's
the next
really
time he does this, it's like, which you come to find out.
Who is it? It's both.
It's both of them.
It's both. How did he know? I'm yelling. I'm sorry, microphone. But how did he know?
And then I was like, did I read that right? Was that really both of them?
No, it was because it was she, he. And I was like, I'm confused by that, sir. Yeah. But it was.
So fantastic comic book. Poison Ivy.
Beautiful.
And Catwoman again to the rescue.
Always. Catwoman. Her ears are giant in this one.
Her ears are weird.
Her ears are weird. Really big.
Yeah. And she wears these bracelets.
She's got bangles.
That doesn't seem practical.
She's got bangles. Well,
it doesn't seem practical.
You gotta know she's a girl, Dad.
Well, you can't tell she's a girl the way you drew her. You completely knew she was a girl. There was no doubt that she was a girl. All right. Anyway, I suggest if you want a good comic book to read, a Halloween-themed comic book, do this. Batman: The Long Halloween.
The art's phenomenal.
The black and white book's normally $40. I got it for $9 at Ollie's.
At Ollie.
And it is free to read on Amazon Prime with the Kindle app. You just download it, and
the Joker looks really spooky.
The Joker is not the main villain.
He's not.
So the Joker decides, I'll just kill everybody until we find out who it is. I mean, really, I was like,
the Joker's like, well, I want to be important again.
I know.
That's pretty much how it goes, right?
Exactly. That's exactly. And the Riddler, they bring the Riddler in to solve the riddle. And I don't know if the Riddler knew the answer or didn't know the answer, or if he did and just didn't tell.
I watched the Batman trailer.
Oh, what do you think about it? Looks good, doesn't it?
Man. Well, the thing that I think is just so interesting is, and we've talked about this, about how every generation has their own the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But mine was kind of split just because I didn't watch Christopher Nolan Dark Knight.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't watch that because not until I was late high school did I watch all of those because they came out when I was too young to watch them. So mine was Adam West and can't remember his name.
Not Ben Affleck.
Not Ben Affleck, the other guy.
Affleck.
The other guy. The guy who Christian Bale, is that it?
Yeah, Christian Bale.
So mine was Adam West and Christian Bale.
Batman. It's not the guy. It's not the. You're sure it's not the guy from the Lego Batman?
You think that's my Batman?
My parents. Darkness.
No parents. parents.
No parents. Yeah, that's great.
Man, that's phenomenal. He sings, I'm an orphan.
That was awesome.
It was so sad.
So,
He's like,
well,
this is
I'm
my
interested.
mixtape.
I can't wait to watch that. I'll watch it. So,
Yeah, I know you're kidding. Of
anyway,
course.
Hannah, there we go.
Dad,
Guys,
I liked this comic more than I thought I was going to.
I liked it. I told you, honestly, better.
You didn't put it back to the beginning, though.
Well, I can't do that. I'm reading bits and pieces. You
But
just press a button. I'm sorry. There's nothing. If we share an account, you're going to have to just handle it. I can't do nothing about that.
You could have put it back to the beginning when you were done.
My bad. So sad. All right.
We talked about that because you had spoiled Clear.
Yeah. And by the way, he's got another book out
Really?
called Ghoul, something Ghoul. I didn't like it.
Oh.
So
Ghouly.
I'm not, you know how I am with horror films and horror scary stuff.
I made a joke.
I know. Ghouly. Anyway, Hannah.
Groovy. Ghouly.
Groovy.
Ghouly.
I can like that show because I know it's silly. And it's not supposed to be really scary. And I don't have to worry about what happens to people in it. So, yeah. Anyway, Hannah.
Yes.
End roll.
And roll. Hey, friends. Thanks for hanging out with us on this little corner of the interwebs. We're glad you hung out with us.
Yeah, thank you.
Our art is created by Nate Turner. He made that in Microsoft Paint, which I don't know about you. I think is pretty dang impressive. He made all
And by
of
the
it.
time this gets downloaded and into your earbuds, he will be performing in the Putnam County's
at the
spelling
25th
bee.
annual Putnam County
County
Spelling
spelling
Bee.
bee. Anywho,
That's
Yeah.
how they'll sing the entire time. It's gonna
and
be
speaking
really
of
exciting.
singers,
Yeah, our music, our intro music was created and composed and performed by the greatest Brockwell Nason. Hey, thanks for doing that for us. You can check him out any place you listen to the music. You can check him out on Apple. You can check him out on Spotify,
I just know
Amazon
he's on
Music, whatever
Anywho.
floats your
Yeah.
boat, my friend. Hey, I edit and maintain our Podbean website, and Pops does the YouTube. Thanks for doing that
And-
for us, Pops.
share our podcast because I think it's fun.
I mean, clearly we both are having an excellent time.
Yeah, and I'm sure you would think it's 10 out of 10 stars.
Or, yeah,
I don't know how many stars you can give things.
ghouly. That's what you probably
Ghouly.
think it is. You probably think our podcast is ghouly.
Groovy. It's groovy. It's not ghouly.
I was making a joke again.
All right, your jokes are hilarious.
Yeah, they're.
And by the way,
nobody
I'm
gets
supposed to
them.
find out if they're pirate comics. Anyway.
Yes, pirate comics. Okay, cool,
I'll take care of that. Anyway, friends, family, countrymen, thank you
Sweet
so
pals.
much for sweet pals. Until next time, we will
Catch you on the
catch
flippity
you on the flippity
flop.
flop.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, my friends.